police again.
Welcome to the media. Johnson, good morning.
How are you doing, gentlemen?
What do you know of today's ruling?
Well, today's ruling, we know that the judge ascribed unto himself an authority that he doesn't have. When specific provisions of the Constitution are raised as subject matter of discussion in a trial, a court of limited jurisdiction, specifically a trial court, does not have the authority to interpret the Constitution. That authority is ascribed to the full bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. Today, the judge had indeed agreed that the former officials of government are immune from any criminal prosecution or judicial inquiry for acts committed or acts carried out while serving as members and statutory members of the National Security Council and principal advisors and agents of the presidency. That immunity of the president that extends to the advisors of the president and the agent, that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats to the elections.
So if you agree that the judge ruled against you, if you agreed that the judge in his ruling admitted that it was right for them, why did he rule against you and then he took an exception to the Supreme Court?
Is that with the wisdom of the judge? The next thing is the defendants, the former ministers of the former officials of government cannot stand trial. Why? Under the due process clause that we have in fact our cases like the Wallow versus Wallow, the landmark case on due process, before you are convicted, you have the right to question the witnesses, to produce evidence in your favor in order to exonerate yourself. These officials are prohibited by law not to defend themselves. And what is the law? The National Security and Reform Act, Intelligence Act of 2011 says, as long as they are alive until 20 years, even if they go for trial and they take the witness to testify about how they expended the money, when they come outside, the NSA will arrest them also because they have breached national security intelligence operations. That's why you take off on the level at the level of the National Security Council.
So in short, Council, are you saying that the judge erred in his ruling against you people?
The judge erred. And in fact, the ruling went beyond the scope of authority of the court.
Meaning that you are taking flight to the Supreme Court for your account?
Well, the team will discuss that. But what we know is that the law already gives us the authority to go on the remedial process when the judge had made a decision, especially on the issue of authority, that he had gone beyond his authority. The judge, the trial court, has no authority. And that is a standard established by the Honorable Supreme Court by years or horror with age, that whenever constitutional issues are squarely raised, no court of law has the authority to determine and pass unconstitutional arguments beside the full bench of the Supreme Court.
The judge did quote Article 51 of the 1986 Constitution as it relates.
When specific provisions of the Constitution are raised as subject matter of discussion in a trial, a court of limited jurisdiction, specifically a trial court, does not have the authority to interpret the Constitution. That authority is ascribed to the full bench of the Honorable Supreme Court. Today, the judge had indeed agreed that the former officials of government are immune from any criminal prosecution or judicial inquiry for acts committed or acts carried out while serving as members and statutory members of the National Security Council and principal advisors and agents of the presidency. That immunity of the president that extends to the advisors of the president and the agent, that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats to the elections.
Also, if you agree that the judge ruled against you, if you agree that the judge in his ruling admitted that it was right for them, why did he rule against you and then he took an exception to the Supreme Court?
Is that with the wisdom of the judge? The next thing is the defendants, the former ministers of the former officials of government cannot stand trial. Why? Under the due process clause that we have in fact our cases like the Wallow versus Wallow, the landmark case on due process, before you are convicted, you have the right to question the witnesses, to produce evidence in your favor in order to exonerate yourself. These officials are prohibited by law not to defend themselves. And what is the law? The National Security and Reform Act, Intelligence Act of 2000.
Again, I'd like to say welcome. Thanks to all of you for joining us tonight. It's always a pleasure coming on to Talk Liberia, to bring you the late night show, to discuss the issues happening in Liberia, to make some analysis around those issues, to give you the space where you can air your views on those different issues of concerns. I'd like to welcome everyone tonight. This edition of the late night show is loaded. Thanks to all of you joining us via radio 101.1, 107.5, and the many frequencies across Liberia. Thanks to our affiliate radio station that always relay the program, or sometimes relay the program. So the many of you who will sometimes relay the program even without telling us, we appreciate you. I want to appreciate all of our folks joining us tonight from across the world, across the internet, on Spoon TV on Facebook, Fabric TV on Facebook, Super TV on Facebook, our audience on YouTube, joining us via Spoon Talk Live, our YouTube handle. We want to appreciate all of you for joining us tonight. My name is Nelson Colette. Kindly share the program as you join us. It's going to be a great show tonight. A lot to talk about. Plenty of things happening across Liberia. So it's just very important that you share the show as you come on tonight. So we're gonna bring you the updates. Let me first of all go to the comment section and recognize a few of you joining us here tonight on the show. Again, please share the show as you come on. I see Otello Tar. Otello Tar is joining us from Nimba County tonight. Thanks for joining us. I see Sam Togba. Sam Togba is here. He's joining us from where? Area EU in Yekepa, Lamco, Yekepa, Nimba County. Now Aslameta, Nimba County. Thanks for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Philip Bala, he said, we are here as always. We appreciate you for being here, Mr. Bala. Thanks a lot. Rufus Quena, Mr. Quena, thanks for coming on tonight. He said, we are here to provide extraordinary support and be critical of bad governance. I like that. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Honorable M. Carlos Quila II. We appreciate you as well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Madison Doma, we appreciate you. Thanks to everyone joining us tonight. Eric Miguel, Charles Delan. I see Benti Quail II, Adama Bintu Sharif. Thanks a lot for joining us. Angeline Yekesin, we appreciate you as well. Charles Delan, I see Dauda Masere, Alfred Kioju. All of you joining us tonight, we appreciate you. It's going to be a great show. So many things happening across the country. OP O'Neill Johnson, Edwin Dopo. All of you, please share the program as you join us tonight. Let's have a great show. Let's talk Liberia and get the conversation going on tonight. Well, a whole lot has been happening across the country. Most of you may be aware um, this landmark case uh, with involving the finance minister, the former finance minister, and four others in the tune of 500 million United States dollars has been a subject of discussion in the country for a very long time since this issue came up. At some point, there was an arrest warrant out there for the former finance minister. A lot of people thought that he would not have returned to the country. He thought to come back. Yes, and so since that time, the case has been on. His legal representatives had a motion, filed a motion for the judge to dismiss the case. Their request was being denied today. And you listen to the justification, the legal interpretation presented by the Honorable Councillor Arthur Johnson today. It's very interesting, and I want to borrow from the late Councillor Charles Walker Bromskin when he said, reasoning is the soul, SOUL, soul of the law. Well, we're going to reason together tonight as well. And it's a major conversation in the country, and lots of conversations around that, different views, different opinions with respect to that particular situation in the country. And now, aside from that, you have a whole lot as well. Let me just bring you a few more of the updates. Some of the happenings across the country. Senator James Emmanuel Nukwe. Now, most of you are aware that the senator was amongst top officials of the previous administration who was sanctioned by the U.S. government. And under the previous administration, sanction hit the two branches of the Liberian government, the executive and the legislature. At the executive, you had the how do you call it? The Minister of State for Presidential Affairs at the time, Minister McGill, now Senator McGill. You had other top officials of government, the former finance minister and the former city mayor, and a lot of other top officials of the previous administration, former NPA boss. Some of them now are in the Senate. And Senator Nukwe at the time was one of those persons who was being sanctioned as well. And he took up a case with the U.S. government with respect to visa denial. Because as part of the penalty for this whole sanction thing, he is being prevented from going to the U.S., from traveling to the U.S., not just him, but his family. His entire family is also prevented from going to the U.S. as a result of the sanction. So he filed a lawsuit at a U.S. federal at the court. There was a lawsuit filed by the senator challenging the U.S. Department's decision to ban him and his family from entering the U.S. Due to allegations of corruption. And so it's been a very long time, since 2023, the 12th of December, when he and others were being sanctioned, and as most of you are aware. So the judge dismissed that particular case, that the U.S. government has the authority pursuant to the laws of the country, in lines with the laws of the country, to decide who goes to the U.S. and all of that. So based on that, the case was being dismissed, and so that's one of the happenings in the country that a lot of people have been concerned about. Lots of conversations around that, and yes, and a whole lot happening across the country. Uh, we are going to uh, have most of these conversations coming up. Sorry, I want to get some stuff coming up here, but let's go across the table and bring the team on. I see CDC Josh Australia is here. Let's get Josh to come on. Josh, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to have you on. Can you hear me?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Nelson. I can hear you clearly, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome to the show, Josh. It's good to have you on tonight. How are you? Has here
Nelson,
is yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm well, and I'm doing great, man. It's a wonderful Saturday morning here, and yeah, I would rather come on here to talk about Liberia than to sit around, cleaning the house. So yeah, it's wonderful to have you.
Okay. So yes, it's good to have you on tonight as well. Let's hope we can make the most of the time we have to be on in the
Yeah,
next 1 hour, 2 hours or so. But Josh, let's hear from you, man. What's on your mind? Your opening.
Nelson, Liberia is in trouble, and Liberia is always on my mind, and I think our government is not doing well for our people, and the bureaucracy and the thievery that is happening outweighs anything that is happening positively in the country. And as people used to say, President Weah was a bobo. I think President Boakai is triple bobo at this moment. He's saying nothing. Military goes in the street. The only thing they didn't do was to shoot gun, but it went in the street, went on a rampage. The president did not say a thing. And all the things that are happening, Nelson, our president is not speaking. And it leads me to wonder, why was he making all these allegations when he was in opposition? When he was saying President Weah is doing this, the country is lawless, this and that. It's even worse now than before, Nelson. And now he's quiet. It leads me to believe that he just came to get his retirement for the Liberian people so that he can go home and play with his grandkids. It's so disgusting, really. But
But
look,
no. With respect to that, someone may just argue that the president is suspending officials who are not declaring their asset, their salaries are being withheld. You have the case with former finance minister Samuel Twe, which we're going to go
mhm,
to, plus other issues. They're going
yeah,
after officials of government who are thought to have
mhm,
uh, waste or misuse state resources. The asset
mhm,
recovery team on the other end is gradually being resuscitated,
mhm,
getting back on her feet to re-embark on the journey with respect to
mhm,
making sure that assets are you know restored or restituted, and all of those different things are going on. So Josh, when you say that nothing is a lot of things are happening but the president is not saying anything, then someone may just be asking all of those questions. How come we have the president making so many travels, going out of the country, trying to make sure that he can make the case for Liberia? How come
mhm,
we have the rule of law, the rule of law
mhm.
uh being a top priority of the government? And maybe AB can say this better than me. Maybe AB can come on and say this better than what I'm saying here. But how come
Uh,
people are being prosecuted? Officials of the
look,
previous administration. How come all of
Nelson,
these things are happening? And someone may
Nelson,
just be thinking that George is speaking from the place of the recent defeat from the 2023 general and presidential election that saw his party. You know, as I see your name right here, CDC George Australia, that saw your party being defeated at the ballot box.
Look, Nelson, look, I'm not trying to play politics with this. And that's what I said from my opening statement. I said the wrong that is happening in the country outweighs the good that is happening, right? There are a few things
Okay.
happening, you know what I mean? Like the roads are being constructed, you know what I mean? But for what is happening, the lawlessness, Nelson, people will be apprehensive to come back to Liberia, you know what I mean? Or to even visit Liberia. And guess what? When people come into the country, they bring money, Nelson. Keke boys can get money, taxi drivers can get money, restaurants can get money, hotels can get money, right? And when hotels are getting money, they pay the people that work in the hotel, the cleaners, right? But if nobody can in the whole hotel, what the person will take money from to pay the people who work in there? You know what I mean? They will either tell people to go home. So if you are having lawlessness in the country that it is, so people going the street with guns, police people running behind people to beat them, all these things are happening. It scares people, and that's why will carry the economy down in the drain. I know they don't used to say the economy was in the toilet, but I know now it's in his pocket. But the thing is that you find out
You
that
know,
it will create more problem. What is happening now?
Josh, we're about to start the show, but
Mm-hmm.
as a Liberian, just
Mm-hmm.
removing the political,
Yeah.
the political skill or veil from your
Mm-hmm.
face, and
Mm-hmm.
just saying it as it is. What are some of the positive things that are happening now
Look, Nelson.
under
What,
this administration for the first 1 year? And everyone
I
is
think that,
listening to you. I'm going to give you the time. What are some of the positive things that you see
look,
happening
Nelson. The
in the
positive thing
past
I see
1 year
now
of this
is
administration?
road construction going on, and I see that
Okay.
the airport is not going out of power like it used to be.
Okay.
I see, like no very, very, minor things like maybe the performance appraisal system that is being put in place, that people will be accountable, they make sure that their performance is appraised through an orderly manner, you know what I mean? I
Okay.
think those are the only things that are happening. But Nelson, the reason I'm
Okay.
saying this thing
Okay.
is
No, no, no. I'm
because
coming. I'm coming. Let's take it one step at a time. We're about to start the show.
yeah.
Road connectivity, road construction is going well.
Hmm.
Um, the airport, the airport is now running out of power like before. So it means
Hmm.
that to some extent there is stability out there, especially at the airport, when it comes to what this administration is doing well when it comes to keeping the airport up. Now, accountability. You're also saying that accountability is on the rise. Systems have now been put in place by this administration to ensure that people are accountable. Now let's go into some of the positive things you said, Big, and let's digest the positive things. You talk about the negative ones later, but when you talk
Okay.
about road construction, the government doing well, very well when it comes to constructing roads all across the country,
Hmm.
making sure that the country is connected. Someone may just say that once there's road connectivity, there are hopes that economic condition in the country will get better because the old man Mary, old man Tiwa, and Tamane, everybody that in the interior or somewhere they're making their farm, doing their
Hmm.
garden, they can be able to bring their produce to the market. When there's
Of course.
accountability, the systems are being set up to make sure that people account and the accountability is on the rise, then it means that there's hope for the fight against corruption. So,
Look,
so Josh,
Nelson.
you're saying that the
Yeah.
government is doing all of this, but on the flip side, you think that the government is not doing anything at all.
Nelson, one of the things that people used to say about the CDC was bread and butter.
Mhm.
And that tells me that bread and butter is very important, right? Because even if the airport that is it maybe a guy electricity 24 hours now, let's just say that, right? But
Yeah.
if there is insecurity in the country, nobody will come to that airport because nobody will fly from their country to come there, right? So that particular electricity you're putting there is a waste because no plane will fly there. Because guess what? The airport generates money from plane landing there, that paying the taxes, right?
Mhm.
So insecurity overshadows everything that happens. If there's insecurity, Nelson, even the roads that the buildings and nobody will drive on them. You know what used to happen? During the war, the roads we had, grass grew on the roads because there was instability. So instability, so maintaining peace and maintaining
Mhm.
security in the country is more important than building roads. Because like President Weah used to say, he say, my achievement, the only achievement you can tell me about is that I maintain the peace. That is a big achievement, right? Because during just Weah time, we didn't see military people coming on the street like this. We didn't see Baki being killed like this. We didn't see, all these things are happening. So it's an issue that has to do with looking at the little things that matter most than the big things that will happen. We know that the airport road is being fixed. I was on that road and I saw the great job that is being done over there is incredible. And when I come back, I hope to see that the entire road is being fixed altogether. But Nelson, if that place if I see that military people in the street and police people running behind each other, Nelson, I will not pay my ticket to come there, because I don't want to put myself into harm's way. That's what the other people do. Because Nelson, one of the things that makes the economy to boom is when money circulates, right? So when people travel to the country, they pay taxi fare, they pay, they go to restaurants, people get jobs. Because Nelson, if you employ only 3 girls in your restaurant, right? And the 7 people, because you're having 10 customers a day, but you start having 20 customers, you employ another 3 girls, right? Because the work will be too much for the 3 that are there. And that's gives Liberian people job. But if you make that country to be lawless, then of course we are out to gain nothing, even with the good infrastructure.
Okay, so you think that amongst the positive things that are happening, there are terrible things happening as well, and
overshadowed the good things that are happening.
one of the terrible things that has overshadowed the positives is the insecurity.
Yes,
Wow.
Nelson. Yeah.
Wow.
It is sad, Nelson. Look, this is my country we are talking about, Nelson. This is our country we're talking about, and we want the good for our country. But if we find out that things are not the way they should be, Nelson, I will give the government 0 for maintaining security and peace in the country, Nelson. Because Nelson, we didn't see this thing few years ago. We didn't see this thing happening. Police used to feed protesters, but now even for people to protest, they're scared. That tells you that the place is insecure. Yeah? So it's ridiculous. Supreme Court is afraid to even to come out with a ruling that clear-cut things, only because they are afraid of the ramification, that what will happen to them. So they are afraid to even put out a judgment that will be clear-cut because they are afraid. That is insecurity in itself. So now investors will not come. That's why you saw as soon as President Boaga came, he said HPX was coming with $3 billion investment, right? Now it closed. He went to China. He said, how many billion were coming from there again? Nothing, Nelson. You know why? Because the people are looking at the news. They're watching the Facebook. They're watching all these things that are happening. That this government does not give them the confidence to bring all that money in the country.
Josh, in the midst of everything you've outlined, the things that are working versus the things that are not working, with a bold face, with clear conscience, as a patriotic citizen of the country, can you say that, or is it fair to say that this administration, the first year of this administration, is better than the first year of President George Weah? Is it fair to say? Nelson. Is it fair to say that things are improving? No. Let me put it this way.
Yeah, go ahead.
Are we moving forward? Are we stuck in the same position that the CDC left us, or are we going backward?
Nelson, we are going backwards. We are going backwards, Nelson. Nelson, we are going backwards because, Nelson, the things that are happening now, they are even worse than the things that happened before, Nelson.
What's happening now that's worse than the things that happened before?
The insecurity, Nelson. Even Supreme Court that we depend on, I would say, is the hardest court in the nation that can say something and everybody abide by it. Our president does not abide by the Supreme Court rulings.
No, I'm getting your text here. Somebody just texted me, and I want to read the message. The person decides to remain anonymous. Let me read the message here. This person is saying, blah, blah, blah. Please tell Josh that under this administration, under this administration, auditors are not dying. The professionals are not feeling insecure to do their job like we saw under the previous administration. Please tell Josh that under this administration, the crime rate with motorcyclists have decreased drastically due to the restriction put in place by this administration. Please, it's a whole long message. I don't have the time to read
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. So Nelson, I saw a video quite recently, right? I think it was yesterday, that the bikes or the keke riders or the bike riders, they were in the street saying, "We don't want to arm rob, we want to hustle." Right? Nelson, the pathetic thing about this government decision making is that they put the cart before the house, right? You don't have job in the country. What the children do to get a daily bread, you're taking it away from them, Nelson. Nelson, that's the most singular way of creating instability. If you
Okay.
have youth that are unemployed and
Thank you,
they,
Josh.
they, they say, no, we don't want to do any crime, we want to go and hustle, but you said, no, you can't hustle. That's the problem, Nelson. And
I
that's
want
why
to
you
hold
see
you there,
anybody
Josh.
can now put them in another way for them to do something wrong.
I want to hold you there, Josh. We're about to start the show. But Mobile, welcome. It's good to have you on tonight.
Thank
You want
you.
to just do your opening because Josh had
Yeah.
the whole time on to himself to do his opening. Maybe you can take like 2 minutes or so. Let's
Yeah.
hear you. What's on your mind?
Yeah. What on my mind is look, Nelson, first of all, let me say thank you to the Liberian people and also how you doing, my brother Josh, how you doing? And Nelson, how was the day today? I know it was tedious. But let me go into detail, bro. Look, I think our country we need to do what we call community policing because majority of the people they don't respect the police. Today I watched a lot of video, apart from the video that the guy who are talking to, he got it right. He's a police officer. He got it right to tell anybody, show me your insurance, show me your driver license, show me your registration. He got a right to do that because he the authority to do it. He is the authority. He is the law enforcement. And I think the thing that killing us in our country is who know you. If I know you, I walk away with certain things and nothing happens. And we can build a country like that. And, like you see police officer will be carrying on that normal duty and people who supposed to respect the law, right? Government officials, well-learned people, they will defy police officer. They will even say, okay, you know what, who I am, right? And they'll be asking all the questions. And sometimes they will take phone and call, and you'll see that police officer walking away. So I think apart from the police doing community policing, I think the government need to come up with certain strategy and empower the police with a lot of equipment, handset, all that stuff. But again, if our citizens, we are not obeying the law, and when things happen, people blame the police. I think it is wrong. Today I watched our video. I was like, that thing I got doing, you were in it,
Thank you.
you were interfering in the man investigation. You don't do it. No part of the world you can do that. You are obstructing the investigation. But we sit and clap for it because our oppose everything. We want politicize it. We don't want to speak to the power. We will feel say when we politicize after the region up, it will still happen. So all we need to
Thank you.
do, we need to speak to the power.
Thanks a lot, Mobile. I think we have to go into the conversation for tonight now. It was good getting you to you know weigh in on what's on your mind. It's very important, and some of these little things we overlook are the very issues that are holding us back. Um, the very issues that are holding us back. Now, I want us to start with this conversation around the former finance minister. Well, there was an arrest warrant issued for the ex-finance minister on the 30th of July 2024. Why? Um, there were allegations that he, former Minister Samuel Twe, and others, and I'm going to mention the name of the other officials of government. So it was former Minister Samuel Twe. You have the former National Security Advisor, Jefferson Camo, state prosecutor, United Twan, and accountancy boss at the finance ministry at the financial intelligence unit, Moses Cooper. They were accused of disbursing or using some 500 million Liberian dollars. So as a result of this 500 million corruption scam, and especially when the folks were, arrested, those who were in the country when they could not, at the time, make available, let's say, secure a bond, then they were arrested. And since former finance minister was not around, there was an arrest warrant out for him. After some time, he came to the country, and the case has been on. And while the case is on, as most of you may be aware, the Councillor Arthur Johnson is one of his legal representatives. Okay, so you said the date is not correct, but I'm quoting from a publication, a news publication on 24th of June 2024. So there was a motion to have the case dismissed based on several grounds, legal provisions stated by the legal representative of the minister. But today the judge dismissed that motion. And again, I know a lot of you must have watched the video, but let's just take a look at a portion of the this particular video. Now we're talking about 500 million. At the moment, it remains an allegation.
Nazi, are you there?
Brought down guilty
Oh, okay.
based on, it hasn't reached that point where they will all be brought down guilty based on the pieces of evidence that the government has. But what exactly is the case? Let's listen to his legal representative, Councillor Johnson.
Councillor Johnson, good morning.
How you doing, gentlemen?
What do you know of today's ruling?
Well, today's ruling, we know that the judge has scrapped onto himself an authority that he doesn't have. When specific provisions of the Constitution are raised as subject matter of discussion in a trial, a court of limited jurisdiction, specifically a trial court, does not have the authority to interpret the Constitution. That authority is ascribed to the full bench of the Honorable the Supreme Court. To date, the judge had indeed agreed that the former officials of government are immune from any criminal prosecution or judicial inquiry for acts committed or acts carried out while serving as members and statutory members of the National Security Council and principal advisors and agents of the presidency. That immunity of the president that extends to the advisors of the president and the agent, that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats to the elections.
Also, if you agree that the judge ruled against you, if you agreed that the judge in his ruling admitted that it was right for them, why did he rule against you and then he took an exception to the Supreme Court?
Is that with the wisdom of the judge? The next thing is the defendants, the former ministers of the former officials of government cannot stand trial. Why? Under the due process clause that.
Okay, so we're going to go to the other aspects of it. But the councillor, though he lost the case and all of that, the motion was dismissed and everything, but he's still making a point here. And he says the judge is in error. Dismissing the case was going beyond his scope of operation. He's making a case here that the former finance minister and others, what they did based on the security nature of their operations, they should not be subjected to questioning. And how much are we talking about here? 500 million. More than
I don't
half
think
of
so,
the,
Nelson. Check that amount. 500. It can be 500 million.
Josh,
Yeah.
we're talking about 500 million total in this entire saga we're talking about here, not just for the
All right.
finance minister, but the rest of the other
Okay.
folks. 500
All right.
million. It was security operation. They cannot be subjected to questioning. We're gonna go around the table with this conversation, but let's start with you, Josh, on this one.
Yeah. So Nelson, the thing is that I was a little bit apprehensive because when you said 500 million, because that is almost more than half of our national budget,
Oh
500
yeah,
million. So that we're talking about something that happened progressively, maybe over time, right? Over years, right? It did not happen in one go. And that's what my understanding is going to be. Because if you take 500 million from our 800 or 700 million, you don't get anything to pay anybody, right? So that tells me that that money they're talking about, it happened over a few years, right? So the thing is, what I'm looking at is that I think the land lawyer was right, because I listened to the ruling as well when he said these people cannot be, prosecuted for the decisions they made while they were executing national security operations. He already took himself to say, this is not my case. You know what I mean? But then he came back and said, but any wrong they do, they have to be punished. You know what I mean? So now I'm asking myself, is that the NSC that is going to punish them, or the courts are going to punish them? How does that work? You know what I mean? It got me really confused. And this is the same thing we talk about other virus today. Our court system now is being compromised, that is becoming more political than becoming legal. Because this guy, he just fell short of bringing other virus, you know what I mean? Because he confused everybody in there. You cannot say the people are immune to prosecution, but then he prosecuted them, Nelson. That, for me, that was completely. People are saying Arthur Johnson was the one that was confusing them. No, but the judge confused us again, just like the Supreme Court did for us in a Capitol Hill case. The thing is that you cannot say this person cannot be prosecuted for the decision they made. But then come out, you say, but they can be punished for doing wrong. What is the wrong that they've done? Who can find out that they did wrong? Except the not the Security Council.
Josh, now this thing is getting a little bit, critical. It's getting a little bit tricky here, because you all remember when the president took office at the early stage of this administration, there was a mandate to audit several institutions, the CBL and other institutions. Amongst those institutions,
NSA as well.
Auditor was the NSA. Now, the very day the mandate was given, it was being argued. A lot of people thought that, look, it's not possible, and it shouldn't be. It is not normal. It's not something that will happen ordinarily to have you going to audit the NSA. And following the different debates, it turned out to be the case. The whole mandate or idea about auditing the NSA was dropped. And the justification by the administration, this administration, then, was that due to the security nature of the operations of the NSA. Are we going back to that same kind of argument, to that same kind of situation here? Because this is similar to the argument that Councillor Arthur Johnson is pushing.
Exactly.
He said those people carry operations to protect to protect the peace, the democracy of the country, because we're in campaign period. But Josh, tell me, which operation exactly were worth spending 500 million?
Nelson, that's why I'm a little bit hesitant to consider that figure to be correct, because in our whole country, whole year, we can only spend 700 million. Sometimes we can even get a 700 million to spend it, right? So if somebody says somebody took for election period, which is 1 year, they spend 500 million. Nelson, at that one, we need to check that record to see where they arrive at a 500 million. Because it's just like we're saying 16 billion loss. 16 billion loss in the country, that means no money in the whole country. All the money they took it from man water, everybody you took it and put it together and carry somewhere. You see it? So I don't think that 500 million is correct. But let's take it to be okay. I think you're trying to play something.
No. Go ahead. I'm looking at Councillor Johnson, making his point, and the former finance minister
making the close the bus more.
Making the close the bus more. I beg you. No, it's good that way. Let's keep it up a bit. The former finance minister in the background smiling as the legal practitioner, the legal man is making the point here.
Yeah. So now, here's the thing, right? For me, the problem here is that if you say these people cannot be prosecuted, I think I'm gone, right? Can you hear me? Okay. All right. So, I think yeah. Oh, no.
You're not gone. You're here. I
don't know what the man thing I'm saying. You are not probably.
Yeah. No. Maybe the man got a call from Yeah, but let's have you to come in on this one. There's a point here that the councillor is pushing, and let's listen to this portion just before you come in.
Under the due process clause that we have in fact, our cases like the Wallow versus Wallow, the landmark case on due process, before you are convicted, you have the right to question the witnesses, to produce evidence in your favor, in order to exonerate yourself. These officials are prohibited by law not to defend themselves. And what is the law? The National Security and Reform Act, Intelligence Act of 2011 says, as long as they are alive until 20 years, even if they go for trial and they take the witness to testify about how they expended the money, when they come outside, the NSA will arrest them also, because they have breached national security intelligence operations. That's why you take off at the level of the National Security Council.
So in short, Council, are you saying that the judge erred in his ruling against you people?
The judge erred. And in fact, the ruling went beyond the scope of authority of the court.
Okay, so the ruling went beyond the scope of authority of the court. But I want you to come in on this one, Moba, and this is very important. Prior to this, prior to where we are, the former finance minister, especially when the arrest warrant came out and all of that, he took onto his social media handle to express. And some of the things he said was, and I'll quote a few of his posts, where he said, over the past 6 years, I've been a major political target and have faced falsely devilish accusations. Or another day, he said, today, a politically motivated witch hunt has been officially launched against my person, calling for my arrest. I mean, these are some of the comments or expressions of the former finance minister when this issue came to the public space. But go ahead, Moba. I think Josh is back. I'm gonna go back to Josh, but let's hear Moba. Moba,
can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We're gonna come.
Yeah. Thank you. Look, I listened to my brother Josh. I just like, wow. When it happened to Brenda Samuka, we all sat down here. Sedition was celebrating. They were like, yes. And they demand him to pay that money. When they call your phone guilty, he pays somebody money. And now you read the sermon 12 people talking about security. So Bernard Semuka was not a security man. He was not in the armed forces of Liberia. That's why we are, like sometimes when someone come on the show, we listen to people who opposed before. And then we come out and remind them. The same people who are on social media today, they're backing Samuel 12. They're backing him. According to the commission, they say they established nothing, no proof, no document, nothing, no institution to show. That leave security. That too much. That was doing Georgia. That you always say when the people were to steal that NSA, they need to pass you. That's you. And happening to, they say, probably it's still happening. When they won't speak, they will say security. Why would one person that will sit there and take 500 million to do what with it? They share among themselves. Then they say now they can get, there will be no account for it. And people will say because that security protocol, so it shouldn't come out as secret. What?
Mama, don't you think the counselor has a point here? Because if you go back to the people who were indicted, though some of them have come to deny the allegation and all of that, but go through the listing of the people who were indicted. Apart from the former finance minister, yes, he's part of this listing because he is he controls the fiscal policy of the country.
Probably he, bro.
CBL is the monitor, but aside from the finance minister, the former finance minister, go back to the list. You have the National Security Advisor, Jefferson Camo. You have the state prosecutor, Yanti Tuan. You have the FI. It was the Financial Intelligence. It's now the Financial Intelligence Agency, FIA.
Yeah, FIA. I've seen it. The Joint Security as well. Resolution.
And all of those people, they were all part of the allegation. They were accused. So don't you think that based on the caliber of individuals involved, how connected they are with the whole security operations in the country, don't you think Senator, let's say Councillor Arthur Johnson has a point here?
There's nothing of a point when it comes to money business. That's also. Nobody will tell you, say, $5 million, somebody will go spend it on security. First of all, look, Nelson, first of all, that indicate the fact that the security used that money, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many of that money was used properly? How? Where? Which entity, media, that money was enforced in? So it can be used for the use of security. You know, they shouldn't come to us and tell us what they need to do. That they provide a document to the court. The court need to for security's sake, right? I come in now.
The council is saying that
the
money was used to ensure, to protect the security of the country, especially that we were in election. It was election period.
So
the security of the state was at hand, and so you needed to do everything to protect it.
Every money got traced back. Number one, it got traced back. Every money you spend, you go to as long as you go to the bank or whatsoever, or even behind the counter, end of the day will come up. Now, my point I'm making here is, Nursing, let them show the code. Let be like, okay, you know what? The identical document when we provide it, it will not be public. It will only be for the what? The government and the judge and the defendant. That's it. Now, if that document show that Samuel Tuane used the money properly, so that there'll be no way, there'll be no corruption and no part of it. Then the judge now will rule in favor of them and will be like, okay, you know what? We are seeing the document, but we make a deal and the court, the government, and all. There will be the document will not be published. It will only be the defendant, the accuser, and the court will review the document. That's it. Then the warner got to know what's in that document, what the government, what the security detail is. The warner got to know. They got to post it on Facebook. They got to put it on the website. Then we know that how to spend the money. But they shouldn't come here and tell us it because of security reason, so they can tell us what to do with the money. Nothing. They did it. Bernard Samuga, he went to prison, right? They took him, he paid some of the money. Sedition was celebrating. Liberia was celebrating, say yes, they won't change. Now if we do Samuel Tuan and people now, because they fee, look, I said a lot of people, they're not for political, they're for Liberia or Liberians. They're only for political party, individual. That's it. As long as it's on themselves, they will celebrate. It happened. So
thank you.
So when we come here to say, let me conclude. When we come here to say, let the document be published between the government, the judge, and the defendant. That's fine.
I want to hold you there, Moba, because we will come back to you on this one. But Josh, what do you make of the argument that has to do with electoral or election security?
Look,
Do
Nelson.
you think it's a fair argument here that
Look,
we're going to a major
fair argument.
election?
Look, let me just give a disclaimer first, Nelson. I'm here. I'm not here for cemetery. I'm not here for those guys. If they took money, I'm not here for that, right? I'm here for just to make sure that the processes that have been followed are followed, right? I want justice, right? But the thing is that I think you heard Donald Trump talk about $17 million being given to spending Liberia for voter confidence.
Yeah, voter confidence.
We understand that, yeah. We are saying we said a lot. What to give voter confidence? What you need to spend 17 million for? You already want to vote for people. Why you must spend that money for? So you see, so many things.
We're back to you, Josh.
So, Josh, you made a very important point here.
We're back to the man.
Interestingly, before now, a lot of Liberians did not have that thought that there's something called voter confidence, for which some 17 million was coming to the country.
Yeah.
But Josh, that 17 million is just a fraction of what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
500 million is no small amount. So do you really think that electoral security is a justifiable, is an argument strong enough to hold water?
Look, Nelson, I am not privileged to the information, right? What they were trying to avoid, what they were trying to protect, what they were trying to do, there's so many things that haven't been, behind the scenes that we don't see. And I'm not here to pretend as if I know them, right? But if these people are in a position where the decisions they make, right, they cannot be sued for them, or they cannot be taken to court for them. Why should we do that now? Is it because of cemetery? Let's say the NSA, right? The NSA is supposed to be audited, right? Their president stopped it. You know why he stopped it? Because the information that is contained in there is not just for Liberia. When you say national security, American interest is involved, Australian interest is involved, because everything collaborates. All these countries work together to maintain security amongst themselves, right? So if you want to expose this one, you expose the other person team what they're doing on the ground to make sure that their citizens in your country are safe and what is going on. All they put around the plane, they are not passengers, and Nelson. Most of the time they put around a plane with you don't even know who they are, but some of them are security people. They are flying here, they're doing different things. And I'm not here to justify who took what. But that money is a lot of money. If they say they use it for just one election, I don't agree. I think there's more information that needs to come out. But again, I don't think we'll be privy to the information. Just like the inauguration funds, right, that was used by this president, this current president. The report that came out, it did not come to the public. It stopped in there, and he praised the woman. So Nelson, we don't know until we get to know. We can make the decisions. But for now, I will stop at this because I don't know what they did with the money, and if it's something that I need to know, because this is national security issues that we are not going to be privileged to.
Now, let's talk about the aspect that has to do with the politics of the whole thing. Yeah. Now, remember when the thing when the allegations came to the public clear.
Yeah.
One of the things that the former finance minister consistently said was that he was being targeted. That it was a witch hunt.
Yeah.
It was something orchestrated to get at his person, to damage him.
Yeah.
And because of that, a lot of people thought he would not have come to the country. But he said, look, I will not come for your arrest. You won't arrest me right now. When I'm ready, when I'm settled, when I've done all of my groundworks with respect to getting a lawyer, getting a legal representative, being in a better position to secure your bond and everything, then I'll come to the country.
Yeah.
And subsequently, he came. Is that reason to want to think that this is political, or is this a patriotic fight that every single Liberian who loves Liberia should be embracing?
Thank you, Nelson. So look, I think Cemetery got hard. If I were him, I would not go back to Liberia.
because even you saw that people were dismissed, people were suspended because they did not publicly arrest him and parade him through the streets of Monrovia. So
Who got
people,
dismissed? Who got arrested?
no, as the information that we're hearing is that the immigration director, how they call him,
But
and even
that's
even
a
the,
crime report. It's not
the police officer was suspended, who is assigned at the court. He was suspended for that. They say he should have arrested Cemetery after he came out of that court.
Who said he should have arrested Samuel Tway?
This
Who
is
they
the word.
you know, because
I mean, you just get arrested without arrest warrant.
they
You
say
don't do that.
somebody say and I say, you know, but
But
who
Nelson,
gave the order?
Nelson,
Who
there was-
got arrested?
Nelson, you know that the government told us that there was an arrest out for Cemetery. Is that correct? You know that, right?
Yeah, the government said there was an arrest.
Okay, so anybody who see you, Nelson, when they say that there's a arrest out for you, anybody who sees you in the streets, the police officer can arrest you. So if you don't do it, then you are negligent, right? So I just want to say something
But
quickly
how
to
do you
my
know? No, Judge, I'm coming. Let's zero in on this one because this is a very sensitive information you put out there. We need to clear. How do you establish that this immigration officer or this police officer saw this fugitive or this person for whom there's an arrest warrant out there and did not arrest the person? How do you establish that?
Okay, Nelson, let's say a very famous person, right? Like Simon Toy. We all know Simon Toy. No one will see Simon Toy and say, I don't know, maybe a kid in the kitchen and the backyard will not know Simon Toy, but most people and people who work in government would know Simon Toy. So if you see Simon Toy and you know there's an arrest out for him and then you see him pass by him, it's a negligence on your part. And what I want to say is that I know that this money that we're talking about did not go to the NSA. It went to FIA. FIA is a financial investigation arm of government that can investigate money laundering, right? So if somebody want to steal money, that they pay the carrier to go steal it, I don't know. What if Cemetery is dumb enough to take money from a bank and carry it to FIA account, FIA that can investigate people who can steal money, then take it there. Then of course there is an issue that we need to look into. If somebody want to steal money, like my brother here said, Morba said, you take it from there, put it on NSA. NSA cannot be investigated. You can steal the money like that, right? But Cemetery knowing that and being very knowledgeable to these things, but take the money and send it to FIA and then take it from there and go eat it. I don't know. But look, there's something that we all need to think about and see exactly whether it makes sense to us or not. So the thing is that, Nelson, if I were this guy, I wouldn't go back to the country because I think Liberia is unsafe, and especially the political things that are happening. He's brave enough to do what he's done. And I think he's done it because he wants to clear his name. And I know that I'm very confident that someone who does such things, they know that they did not do anything wrong. If I did anything wrong, I'll be hardly looking for country that they cannot extradite a Liberian from. That place I'll go stay at. I will not come back to the country. Yes, Nelson, if I did something wrong, Nelson, I'll be far from the Liberian shore. I will be far. Maybe I'll go to Cuba. What it will not be able to find me. But if I can come from my place and go back, then of course, Nelson, I know that I did nothing wrong. So this far as journalists or this aspect where when you think about it, you would think that something is not being made clear, something is being played as politics because Cemetery cannot commit a crime in Liberia and walk into the police and say, I can't declare my name when you know you did something wrong. So I don't think this man did anything wrong. If he did it, then he's very brave to do what he's doing.
Josh, at one point you say he shouldn't have come to the country.
Yes.
He didn't do it. The fact that he came back to the country or he's back in the country indicates that he didn't do it.
Yeah.
But then again, you think that it's politically motivated and somebody just want to get at him.
Yes, Nelson, it's simple. Nelson, everyone knows that Samuel Tway was one of the big strategists of the CDC, right? I think even myself, at a certain point in time, I did not like his political involvement because I wanted him to stay as a technocrat and forget about politics because of his position. But he still maintained the two of them, being political and also being a technocrat. He did it quite well. But because of that, he got a lot of hate. People hated him for that because they hated that one person can do two things so effectively. So the people hated him. So for the fact that people will want to get at him because they want to destroy the CDC. Can you imagine? You know that they wanted to take the CDC from the headquarters. What is it now? CDC is still there, right? because the people want to make sure that this. Let me tell you, that's what the Liberian politics is. If you're in power, you want to destroy the opposition to make them powerless altogether. Because that's why you're not implore them, because when they get money, they will come against you. You don't want to do this to them. That's what they want to do to the CDC. They destroy Stamatoe, they destroy everybody around President Weah, and then now CDC is no longer a viable entity, right? That's what they want to do. That's why they are witch hunting these people to make sure that they can tarnish their capital, or they put them in jail, or they made them to run away, go far, or and then CDC has no one again to oppose these guys that are coming to loot.
Thank you, Josh. I want us to take a look at this just before I move over to you, Moba. This is the ruling.
Mm-hmm.
The first paragraph there says, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission did not establish any proof or documentary evidence, such as instruction or letter of request from the national joint security or the FIA, or a joint security resolution, or from the former president to co-defendants Twe, for which he co-defendant Samuel Twe approved and subsequently ordered the transfer of the above mentioned amount to the FIA account.
Where's the amount? Where's the amount? Is it there?
No, I mean the amount involving the case, the 500 million.
Okay,
all right.
Okay.
Then the second paragraph, predicated upon these actions by the defendant, the Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, through the Ministry of Justice, is alleging that the defendant acted outside of the privilege provided to agents of the president in Article 61 of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia, and therefore cannot enjoy this privilege, for which they must answer. The only place to answer is the court, Criminal Code C. And then the final paragraph, in view, therefore, this case cannot be dismissed for the lack of subject matter jurisdiction based on the fact, circumstances, and the laws cited therein above, and the prosecution or respondent must be given the opportunity to provide their case, to prove their case. Hence, the motion to dismiss is hereby denied, and that the case is ordered proceeded forthwith. I mean, if you just go back to the first paragraph, there is it's something to talk about. But let's go to Moba, then we're going to come to you, George.
Okay. Yeah, thank you, Nelson. I appreciate it, man. Look, let me say this. My brother talking about the politics side, right? Brandon Samuka won the election overwhelmingly. To take his seat, he was denied. He was denied because of the same corruption. And today we'll come here to sugarcoat it because it's in our favor. Don't talk about politics, won't break CDC. Why they never break Unity Party down? When Brandon Samuka, the man who served as defense minister for 12 years, who could mobilize men to get on the street, to demonstrate, to do anything negative in our country, he was denied. He won his seat overwhelmingly. He was denied because of the same corruption issue. But if we to Summit 2 now, all the hierarchy from CDC will defend him. The politics, they want to break CDC down. That's how we build Liberia. If I for you, whatever you does wrong, I just watch you and I clap for you. If we want to build Liberia, let us be realistic and truthful to our country. Let us say the truth. For me, I'm what I preach on the government to come to power. If they do something wrong or do something wrong, I will come here and say, like they feel they've been bashing on the president. You know that, John, my brother John, know. I even want to try when you saw the comment, you saw my post, you were laughing on it. I said it to tell you that I'm not for individual, I'm not for organization, I'm not for political party, I'm for Liberian. So in that case, there is no political right in 18 nursing. There's no political right. Nothing about want to break CDC down. No, there's no politics attached to the investigation. This investigation does need transparency. Let the people go through the due process and let us see if Senator use the money or not. If he use it or not, we shouldn't come here and say
yes. So let's zero in on this, and then we can transition to our next talking point. Josh, you saw the ruling from the court. The first paragraph: no trace, no document, nothing whatsoever, no request. But the former finance minister transferred the amount to the FIA account.
Mm-hmm. Look, Nelson, I'm a little bit confused as well. If there was an investigation and the LCC could not find any documentary evidence that either the president instructed Simon Toure or the agency FIA requested for the money or NSA requested for the money, if they couldn't, find out any information about that and could not find out what that money was used for, I think this case is wide open, right? It could go anyway, because for what I know, to my little understanding I know about these investigations and things, for you to convict somebody, you must know that the person took this thing and where this person took it, and especially when it comes to national security issues. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're live.
Security issues, they are more secrecy, right? So maybe they don't want to disclose these things, to these people because they feel that these are things that they shouldn't know about. They don't have a security clearance for. So that's why they're not telling anyone what is going on with it, right? So Nelson, I don't want to say anything now. Let's watch and see exactly what this case is going to go. But I just feel that there's too much unknowns, right, in this case, and I'm hoping that whoever has the information will put it out there so that we can know exactly what $500 million, Nelson, $500 million. That's not small money, Nelson. That's almost our country whole financial year money you're talking about. That's why I'm still beside myself here. For $500 million to get missing in a particular financial year, it's impossible.
Okay,
it is impossible. Yeah.
Thank you.
So let's see what they got that type of money from, because our whole budget is $780 million. Now the hardest money Georgia ever put out there as national budget. Then $500 million will move from there. So that means that only $280 million we use in the whole country.
Let it deny it now. Let it defend and deny it in court. Anyway,
yeah, so
then we know.
But Mama, it's easy to deny. It's easy to deny, but they can prove. They will have. It's not just about denying it, saying I didn't do it or whatever.
No, what I mean, that second, what I mean, what I mean to say how to use it. I mean, because my brother John emphasizing on the $500 million. So now let the defendant deny that the money was not $500 million. Let it establish that fact before we go into the case. But they deny it, so many of the truth. That's what I'm trying to say.
I gotta dig to find out what it was $500 million, because $500 million, that's not small money, Nelson. $500 million. I thought they said 500,000, right? But $500 million, that money can be given to any entity for a year. Liberia get that type of money, so I don't know how they will do it. Maybe it happened over years.
Like the LD components.
Mama, you want to just zero in on this so we transition.
Look.
I'm glad you getting my point, Lee.
Yeah, but Nelson, let me say this, right? Look, how much we want the best for Liberia, right? We want tackle corruption in any way. Even today, ministers that in the government are doing bad things. If they move on in power, the next people that come in there when they want to prosecute people, we will be happy because we hate for few amount of people just to go and take certain amount of money and just enjoy themselves there in the family, and the ordinary Liberians suffer. When I come here and say,
Moba,
yeah,
I know you're trying to zero in on this one, but just going into the argument that the lawyer, Councillor Johnson, is pushing here, is he admitting that his client actually transferred the money or used the money, but justifying that the basis on which his client used the money is justifiable?
Look, the argument.
You know what we're getting here? Are we getting admittance from the councillor here that, look, yes, they used the money, but they cannot be questioned as per the law, the provision of the law. They cannot be questioned, but yes, they used the money. Is that what we're getting from the councillor here?
Yeah, the councillor, in a general quotation, he's simply trying to explain to the Liberian people how the money was used. Based on that, because it's a security matter, they don't want to bring it out. They don't want to come up with like how it was used. But it is still the fact is established.
If the money was used, then how is former Minister Twe and the other folks who have been accused here, how are they different from Bernie Samukai?
That's the question. That's the
question. Where do we draw the line between former Minister Samuel Twe and former Minister Bernie Samukai?
And that's the same security apparatus. You got the AFL, right? The AFL, the AFL, they get their own stuff, they do their thing, ain't got to come out. But guess what? It came out. So what different from what Samuel Twe did? No, that be real, man. Thank you.
Thank you. We have to make a transition on this. But George, just a quick one. Where do we draw the line? From just the argument you heard Councillor Johnson push today, is he admitting that his client actually spent the money? They used the money brought based on what they used the money for, or based on their capacity, in the capacity in which they use the money, they cannot be questioned. Is he admitting that indeed his client used the money? And if this is admittance, then how is former Minister Twe different from former Minister Brendan Samukai?
So Nelson, he's not admitting anything here. What he's saying is that Samuel Twe, in his position as finance minister and a principal deputy of the president, expended a lot of money on national security, and these monies cannot be publicly declared. You know what I mean? What they spend them for. That's what he's trying to say. Why I understand where he stands. In this case, is difficult how to to prove exactly whether this happened or it did not happen, Nelson. But he's not admitting and he's not denying anything. He's just trying to tell you that
if he's not admitting and he's not denying, then where are we?
There's no case here. Government is trying to make up a case.
Under the due process clause that we have in fact our cases like the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats to the elections.
If you agree,
that immunity can never be subjected to judicial review in a court of law. The courts shall refrain from conducting inquiry on the basis that any attempt will compromise national security. In fact, it's on the other way around. Why we should be protecting the protection of national secrecy, I see the government proceeding to expose national security operations, especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats.
The government attempting to expose expenditures, especially during elections, expenditures that were intended to save the country from national security threat. Maybe I should carry back a little and let's listen again to what the councillor is saying here. And you see the finance minister is in the background smiling. He has his dark goggle on and he's smiling while the councillor is making the point. And he's nodding his head in agreement, in alignment with everything the councillor is saying.
Especially about expenditure during elections to keep this country safe from threats.
About expenditure during election to keep the country from threat. What were the threats that we were exposed to? Is he admitting that indeed his client, former Minister Twe, used the money, but it was used to save the country from threat during election. George, let's hear you on this one.
Look, Nelson, there are so many things that we don't see naked eyes. Just like we can say God working, God is doing things, He's taking other accident from me, but I can't see them. So when it comes to national security, so many things happen in the background that we as citizens, we just walk with our eyes open, but we cannot see. But things are happening. And I'm not here to justify to say this is the exact threat that we're trying to mitigate. This is the other one. No, that's not what I'm here for. What I'm trying to say is that there are security threats in an election, because there are a lot of people who want to intrude into an election. Like you see in America, they say Russia want to interfere into elections. Russia use millions and millions of dollars just to make sure that they get the person that they want in the presidency in America. Just like other countries around us, they want their friends, somebody who is soft for them, or somebody who is, who will yield to their requests and other things. They want them in the
Is that a justification for 500 million?
I don't believe so as well. I don't believe so. So that's what I want to say. I'll continue to question this amount.
No, Josh, the discussion here, you find it difficult on this one. I mean, let's pass Josh. Let's just pass Josh. Josh says he's down here for.
That's the man. I want to speak to you. He that video around the bush.
I don't want to quantify that particular amount. That's too much money, Nelson. That's too much money.
Okay, now I agree.
In a year time to spend.
Let's hear from family.
One second, Josh. I agree that you would. So my question to you, right? You arguing on the money aspect, or probably you want for it to be published? You want for the document to be published, the money that the finance minister used? That's my question to you. Which one you believe, or which one you think is not real?
That question.
The money, right? Are you emphasizing on the money aspect, that the money too much, it can happen, or you think that okay, I understand your point.
I don't agree. I don't agree that because let's say how they call it, mobile. Let's say you get $5, right, for you to feed yourself for the whole day. Then instead of doing that, you take $3.50 from that $5, right? Remaining 15 cents. $3.50, then you say you give it to somebody who want to mind you. Ain't getting me? Then you're not eat again. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. If you want to spend $500 million a year on security, or 1 year.
Let me hold you there. Let me hold you there, Josh. Let's bring Pamela, you have just 2 minutes on this talking point because we're about to transition.
Yeah, thank you very much. Whenever you see they kind of for sensitive topics that they come up, George will run out of idea. More besides, he's seeing it very clear that it has become so heavy he cannot defend it. So in the end now, he's in a little bit of shock. But George, just hold it like that. Sometimes it's okay. You have 3 resuscitators around who will resuscitate you some way. But the situation here is that it is embarrassing. You could see from the posture of Samuel 12. Samuel 12 is a cunning guy, and he found himself a very intelligent, intellectual as a lawyer. Councillor Arthur Johnson will intellectualize the law and make it seem so sweet. Because the way he'll be articulating, you'll be thinking that everything he's saying.
I don't know what you mean by intellectualize the law. Don't bring that soup, that UL soup kind of thing.
You already know how the person Arthur Johnson is. Councillor Johnson is a very smart guy. We were neighbors at some point when I was coming up, so I know he's a very smart guy. So I'm not surprised with the stand in which he's taking right now, supporting Samuel 12 as his lawyer. Samuel 12 knows very well that he has been caught. His hands have been caught in a jar, and there is no way for him to escape. So now they are saying that the money was used on security. The FIA was brought in. Look, this was a well-tailored, concocted plan. It was set up. It was mapped up. But it's just unfortunate that we live in this information, in the age of information, that you cannot escape from it. This has become an inescapable web for Samuel 12. He will not escape from this. They can do it any kind of way. Arthur Johnson will continue taking his lawyer fee. and he will defend it, and the media will take it. But in the end, the Liberian people are seeing that money was actually withdrawn and it was not used for security during the election. Even America gave 1.5 million. Just recently they canceled it. You saw Elon Musk took 1.5 million for voter. It was something concerning voter.
No, 17 million voter confidence.
Okay, voter confidence 17 million. If America can get 17 million for voter confidence and still the voters in Liberia are not confident enough in the voting process, then how will a 500 million and 500 million like that be expanded? And now you want to tell us now, the Liberian people, that this was posing a serious threat to national security?
No, but family. In all fairness, just listening to the argument that the lawyer is pushing, is he admitting? Do you see admittance here from the legal counsel?
The counsel
is he admitting that his client used the money?
Yes,
his legal argument is that if his client should not and must not be questioned for using 500 million of the Liberian people money.
You cannot take the Liberian people money and you run down on immunity because you said you are an agent of the president who, under the Constitution, gave him the immunity. That anything that is done.
How does the immunity extend to folks around the presidency?
Yeah, but if the immunity has its boundary and limitation, let us not be confused about the whole thing here. The immunity does not say if you go you expend money or you disburse money or you take money and you cannot give an account of what exactly the money was used for. And you say they say for national security, and the entire national security database or all of the operation of the national security database did not show any operation that covers 500 million. And you want the Liberian people now to say and say, oh yeah, Samuel Tue, you agent of Jowia. Anyway, I know they are saying now that if you prosecute an agent that is being appointed by the president who had that immunity blanket, that means you are indirectly prosecuting the president.
Sorry, family. Let me interrupt you there. I will give you 30 seconds to conclude on this, but I want us to read again the first paragraph of the ruling from the court today. And that first paragraph, it says, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission did not establish any proof or documentary evidence that such evidence such as instruction or letter of request from the National Joint Security or the FIA or the joint resolution or from the former president to co-defendant Samuel Tue, for which he, Samuel Tue, approved and subsequently ordered the transfer of the above mentioned money to the FIA account. So there's no proof, no letter from the president. So if the councilor's argument at this point is about presidential immunity as agent of the president, but the LCC has done an investigation preliminarily, and the investigation is saying that there's absolutely no documentary evidence, nothing to show that there was a request from the National Joint Security, nothing to show that there was a request from the Financial Intelligence Agency, nothing to show, no document showing that there was a request from the joint resolution from even the president. So if the president did not request the money, FIA did not request, then who requested the money? Why did the former finance minister transfer the money?
So now this is the big question that the Liberian people will be asking, and this question is a question that has been asked before in Liberia. Where is the Liberian people money? This was the same question the late Senator may so rest in peace asked the former president. Where's the Liberian people money? This particular money will make people will suffer from serious problem, and they can call it any kind of a way. Liberia will not go forward if we do not put into this systemic corruption.
Thank you.
This is systemic corruption. This is clear, and there's no evidence that the money was used for any security issue in the country, and there was no major security situation in the country that warrant that amount of money to be transferred to the FRA. So I hold it right there.
I wanted to transition quickly, because I can't go back to Josh on this. No, I mean, we're done with this conversation. We'll take calls very shortly.
Josh is already suffering from verbal diarrhea.
An official of our government did something very interesting. Now, let me go back a little. A lot of you follow the whole saga, everything that played out with respect to the sanction on officials of government under the previous administration. They were being sanctioned, and everything that happened, from the Solicitor General to the NPA boss to the finance minister to the city mayor, to a lot of other officials, to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, to several senators at the Liberian Senate, Senator Albert Chie and Senator James Emmanuel Nukwe. They were all sanctioned by the U.S. government. And ever since that sanction came in, the concern was, look, and from so many of them, I saw a letter from Councillor Sima Serena Seafirst, where he was asking the government to make sure that they can have time to give them due process. I saw a letter from some of the other asking the government to take some action. Koji also asking for time to exonerate himself. In fact, they are saying that the sanction brought on them by the U.S. government was not fair. While the whole conversation was going on, under the cover, small, the senator was fighting his battle. Senator James Emmanuel Nukwe decided to file a legal to file a case. All right, to take a legal approach to the whole thing. So apparently, having seen most of his colleagues who were sanctioned also raising concerns, asking the government to take actions, and the fact that those calls were not getting the kind of results, he filed a lawsuit. And the court today dismissed the case. He lost the case. So why former finance minister was losing his case on the side, Senator Nukwe was also losing his case. His issue was there's no justification. The sanction brought upon him is not justifiable. He didn't get to have his time in court to give his own side about the whole thing. Somebody just investigated something. Maybe the U.S. government just investigated something and brought a sanction upon him. And so because of that, he took the legal stand, but he lost the case. What does this mean? What sort of message does it send to the rest of the other ex-officials of government who are having similar concerns, who are feeling treated unfairly, who have this thought that, look, somebody just went to the U.S. and lobbied for sanction and brought it on them? What sort of message does it send to them? Are we going to see further action from some of those other officials of government who were equally sanctioned by the U.S. government? Are they going to take similar approach? Or is this going to be the straw that will just break the camel's back? I mean, like everyone just sitting by and say, what happens. We're going to dance by the drum beat. Whatever it is, let's roll by what the situation is. I mean, let's start with you, Josh. What's your take on this conversation?
Look, Nelson, I do agree that everyone, regardless of what you've done, you need to have your day in court. only a court of competent jurisdiction can impose a penalty or a punishment on anyone in our democracy, right? However, America on the other side, what the excuse they gave is that they're not putting you in prison, but they are just deny you access to their house or to their country. I see that. But also, what the senator said, because of the unjustified sanction, he was denied playing a role as a senator. He was denied going to America to do a piece of job for his country. You know what I mean? And I think he had a reason, to ask them, guys, if you cannot take me to court for me to exonerate myself, or you can convict me, then you remove this sanction, because it's now hinders my ability to do my job. As we have gone for a conference in America that impacts my work that I do for my country, and because of the sanction, now you stop me from going there, from doing my job. So I need a day in court so that this sanction can be laid to rest. I think he had the right to do that, Nelson, because it's very inhumane. Like, for instance, like you have a lot of guys in Liberia, like even the former Mayor Koji, they are all saying, guys, you say we kill people, bring the people family, let's come see the people family. But all the people you say, okay, no family. And now, we will start lobbying in Washington to make sure that these guys that are there now to receive the same sanction. Because, Nelson, these sanctions were put on people without any justifiable action or justifiable reason.
But Josh, if you say the sanction was put on people without any justifiable reason, are you saying that even the U.S. government did not do due diligence, or somebody just sat somewhere and say, oh, the other mayor involved with bribes, the other man involved with this, and then the U.S. government, without investigating, just acted upon it? Is that the point you're trying to push, Josh?
Yes,
Do you really think that's how the U.S. government
America can do things without investigating? The same way America said there was weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, and they took all their troops there and killed 3,000 of their own troops in Iraq, and did not find the weapon of mass destruction. They could have said the same thing that people killing people in Liberia, they can't find a body and they can't find the parents of those people and put sanction on them. I'm not justifying that all the people that did not do anything wrong, no, but they need to have a day in court, Nelson. America can make mistakes. We can't sit on this platform because we sit in America or we sit in the West and we say they can make mistakes. These people can bully people because they feel that they are all powerful. They can bully people. They can intimidate people. We all know that. These people lied that there was weapon of mass destruction in Iraq. They went there and killed the people and killed themselves as well, and did not find a weapon of mass destruction. And then they came back and said, we made a mistake. So why do you think they can make a mistake in Liberia? If possible, so they should bring the evidence. Let Bwaka go for the evidence, because they are the same people that were advocating for these sanctions to come. They say they have evidence. They said they're going to prosecute these people.
Do we have evidence that President Bwaka was part of the people who lobbied for the sanction? Because the last time I checked, you, George, said on this show that Mr. Cummings was part of the people who lobbied for the sanction. Now you're saying President Bwaka.
That's what the CPP. That's what they were, the CPP. The CPP, they were lobbying for sanction. And
this is the senator. This is the senator.
Yeah.
And this is the former U.S. Secretary of State,
Anthony Blinken, yeah.
The senator sue. This is interesting, guys. This is very interesting. The senator sue the U.S. Secretary of State. They are denying me. I have a piece of job to do for my country, but you say I can go. But he was pushing the case not just for him, though he mentioned the U.S. The United Nations thing and all of that. Senator, he needs to go there, but he's saying that he, his wife, her kids, they can't go to the U.S.
Innocent children.
But here's the other thing here. Prior to the election in 2023, and we're gonna come to you next, Fambole, then we'll take Moba.
Francis. Oh, okay.
Prior to this whole thing we're talking about, when the sanction came up, and The likes of Senator Bill Torrey now, Senator Nukwe now, and others decided to contest. There were calls for them not to contest, for something to be done. And some of the people who ran against those lawmakers, especially the people who were sanctioned, their argument was that if you elect someone who has been sanctioned by the US government, when that time comes for them to make the case for you, they will not have access. They will not go to the UN. They will not go to the US. They will not meet with partners, engage with people across the United States who have what it takes to better the country. So don't elect them. Are we going back? Do we now find ourselves in the very position of those people who were making those points, who were pushing those arguments? I mean, let's hear from you, family, and we're gonna go around the table with this.
Look, that was so funny today when I saw that. And look, Nelson, Nukwe, I think you saw a video he posted, because when someone brought about him being sanctioned, he made a press conference and he even showed a passport that he had a US visa in his passport that he could travel. So I was surprised to see that it was actually true that he had been sanctioned. And now with this case, he knows that the case is not going nowhere. He has some few money he just wanted to prove a case that, oh yeah, they lied on me and I took the case somewhere so it can get adjudicated. You cannot even sue the United States government. The United States government is not subjected to any, I don't know what kind of court he went to. You can't sue the United States to any petty court, any especially influential person like that. You can't take them to any petty court. Even the International Criminal Code does not have jurisdiction over the United States. So I don't know which of the court he went to or where he went to, but the United States will not subject themselves to any petty court. They already told him
that it was not any petty court. It was done in the U.S. The district judge, Andrew Carter Jr. You know, so this is not.
Okay, nice. It was done in the United States.
He actually filed a lawsuit in the United States, though he didn't go to the United States, but through his legal representative, he filed the lawsuit.
That free money he spent over them, man. He knows that kid's not going nowhere. That's
don't you think it was worth it, fumble it? Don't you think
sometimes it was worth it? It's sometimes a good you test the water. I guess think it was just something he was testing the water to see, so that someone he colleagues back there too, they can also go and try. But he knows deep down in his heart that it was not going to yield anything, because the United States, I know the United States make mistake, but the United States is the biggest, if not the number one when it comes to gathering information or intelligence. The United States does not just take decision if they don't have evidence that you are linked to certain things. They are not 100% correct in almost everything. But when the United States label you, that means they have something on you. So he can go there now. He can still take an appeal and go to another court and file. And keep filing. Maybe one day you'll get it. One day you'll get it. But as far as I'm concerned, he failed. He committed something and he was caught in the web, and the United States passed a judgment. He can be, I don't know why Liberian politicians always see America to be somewhere where if you come to America to do business or do any other thing, you can't do any other thing, any other place. Like you find somewhere else to go. If America say don't come here, don't come here. Find somewhere else to go. You can do business in other country. Not only America, the only country.
Family, don't you think the lawmaker has a point here? The lawmaker is saying that sometimes he needs to go to the US.
For what?
To engage with partners to make the case for Liberia.
Let the partner come to him. Since the partner know that he's under sanction, let it come to him. First of all, you cannot even go to any partner now that the United States already label you to be, quote unquote, corrupt. So I don't know which of the partner he even had in the United States that he's saying you have to go and engage with partner. we all know this is another free show. We can turn anything around. All the other people can go. They will, I mean, it's nice. Sometimes it's good. I'm not saying it's not good for him to go and exonerate himself. It is good. But he himself know that he's not going to go anywhere. The United States are already taking that decision. If the United States see it and that they'll come and apologize and they will rescind the sanction. The United States is very good at that. They'll rescind the sanction. But for now, his hands is still in the cookies jar and they already know.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Moba, you want to come in? But
yeah.
just before doing that, Moba, I want you to just give me a few seconds. Let me put the ruling up. Let me put the ruling up from the court. On what ground? What was the basis of the court's decision? Why did the court take the decision? Why? Why exactly? And that's very important. So let me just put this up quickly. Let's read through what it is here. Francis, welcome back to the show. I see you. You're off and on. Okay, this is the court's ruling. The judge, the judge found that the lawsuit lacked legal standing because U.S. immigration policy, particularly the decision to grant or deny visas, falls within the executive branch exclusive jurisdiction. The ruling cited that the long-standing doctrine of consular non-reviewability, which prevents court from interfering in visa decision made by consular state by consular and state department officials. And so there you have it. This one is in quote. Blah blah blah. It says the power to exclude aliens is a fundamental sovereignty. Is a fundamental sovereign attribute exercised by the government's political department and largely immune from judicial control. Judge Carter stated, referring to previous rulings that reinforced the executive branch's authority over immigration matters. So, then the next concern is maybe what sort of advice did his legal representative give to him?
That was my starting point right there, Nessie.
There was a previous ruling in this particular thing. There's a law clear on the book, that this is not subject to judicial review. The executive branch decide who to give visa to go to the U.S. Is that I say, don't come to my house, Mother. You are not allowed to come to my house. He said, but why are you telling me I'm coming to your house? In fact, I'll carry you to court. I'm supposed to get ready to come to your house. But anyway, go ahead, Mother.
Yeah, Nancy, he just took that identical word.
That's a very good move.
Yeah, Nancy, he just took that identical word from my mouth, right? The lawyer, like my brother family said earlier, right? The lawyer only want to hear because I believe that the lawyer knew that identical quotation was in our it was outlined, and he went to it. He know it because he's a lawyer. He's a veteran lawyer. I know who a lawyer. I know who one of the lawyer in hire, but I believe that lawyer in hire knew everything, and everybody know. Yo, the judges here, they don't decide who can in America or who don't come in America. They honor the executive. So why will you go to the lawyer and say, why they put deny me visa? I want you to plead for. No, like the judge, right? Like the lawyer, like free money. He wanted to eat. He knew the man, a lawmaker, the man, and thing. But I go to the corruption issue. What my brother judge said, America only pull sanction on people. They get no fact and evidence. Look, Charles, let me tell you this. If you follow the history of America in doubting people, right?
Mm-hmm.
You will know that half of the indictment that come on, the people get evidence. The boy that will got sue money and say, Zoga, there's no. The people will plan your own people on you to investigate you, come with evidence because they won't do something tomorrow and then they be looking bar on the outside wall. I know, like they are not 100% perfect, but 99.9%. Majority of investigation it can count two nursing. If they go for you, they go for you. So no way they would just say, I mean, there's no way they'll just come out and say, Samuel 12 or Nathaniel McGee, they all the one will just sanction you though. They get evidence, they get that thing that. You remember when the ambassador McCarthy went I think one of the country, he said all the money I gave you for so thing, I can't see nothing. Where the money was passing, doing Georgia regime. The man said it, and people came up with evidence. People said it. People look. Next thing, they don't take 1 day, 2 days to investigate. The people take years because they want to gather, they want to put out evidence, they want to put everything together and then come up with that funding. So there's no way my brother George will sit on this show, right? And argue that the investigation on those guys was not real, it was fake because they want to happen in Iraq or other one. Josh, you don't know how the American government investigate our cases. You don't know how to go after people. You don't know it, my brother. So don't sit and just say things that you don't know about.
Josh has right
his opinion. I agree, but that's why
Josh has the right to make analysis.
I agree. So I got look. Next thing I agree. Everybody got their own opinion.
So you don't use your opinion to dismiss the man's opinion.
I would dismiss his opinion. I mean his opinion because I understand the magnitude of their general conversation.
All right, thank you, Moba. But just before we move to Francis, James has a comment here. Let me highlight James. The comment coming from James. Where is it? Okay, so he said Nukwe is arguing that based on the UN charters, the US cannot deny anyone access to the UN headquarters as is considered a neutral place. Does this argument hold water? Is it something which
yeah, let me conclude on that. Look, when you read the sanction, what they put on them when you read it, they say on any American facility, on any American, like for instance, even the currency.
Yeah, so, at some point there was a concern from the embassy here with respect to why those sanctioned people are even using their currency and all of that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. I bring it out to let you know that they get it right as much. There's somewhere they got some. I mean, they get something there. As long you outside that jurisdiction and they put a sanction on you, you can't go there. That's it. You can't force it. That's it. That's like the United States embassy. That's we can say in America, I mean in like America over there, the United States embassy.
Thank you. Francis, you want to come in? Let's hear your take on this conversation. Then we'll go to the phone lines.
All right, yeah, I'm just kind of like I just laughing. You know why I'm laughing, Nelson? First and foremost, I'm grateful to my God in our local community.
No, I'm coming. Let me handle that. Can you disconnect your Bluetooth? Just use the microphone for the gadget you're using. Just disconnect.
Are you sure the Bluetooth is a cost?
Yeah, the audio there is not good.
Oh, that should be good. Or good on my set. Your set is not good. Am I okay now?
You're okay.
Okay, so then let me volume the phone a little bit. Hopefully nobody called me. I'm just laughing. I'm doing a postgraduate advanced certificate course, right, on immigration. And part of the stuff we're talking about, I just completed first semester. And by the way, I passed the course, so it just made me feel funny.
So that your first semester in the whole so you bring it so that your first semester in the graduate certificate in
yeah, I just completed that yesterday.
So you just
completed the course yesterday.
It's like being a freshman. It's like you just starting your very first semester. So you
I've been doing immigration a little while, but to take an academic course to push me a little more into it, I just started that. I started January 2025. We completed it. It's kind of accelerated program for graduate students. So, but I mean, let's go to the issue.
Accelerate.
Like you and Morba were talking, right?
Mm-hmm.
People forget, and in my entire adult life, the people that I know that really forget are Liberian politicians. They almost like they can be talking, they don't know what they're talking. They can be doing things I hate to say. They're hiding, nobody will see them doing it. But why? But even the person that pushing their wheel, the steering, driving it from place to place, they already have an again report. Majority of the countries around the world that America have problem with, America use their own people to gather intelligence. Nothing. They did it to Libya, they did it to Iraq. You know what America went to Iraq? Libya during Obama time.
Actually, I really want us to narrow the conversation to this.
Yeah, but we gotta get some references. Now see. So okay, let me go to the point about Nukwe. The whole code issue, like Morba said, there is no lawyer, only few lawyers here in America, especially when it comes to criminal litigation, civil litigation, and family. There are lawyers that will tell you, say, you know what? Why we got to do this here? We got to do negotiated litigation, meaning talk with the prosecutor, we go to plea bargaining. You can't win it. Flat rate, they will tell you. Some of them will tell you they're not taking it. But corrupt politicians like Nukwe, in like law, or any of them, then there you go. I'm taking my own. Okay? Because here in America, for example, even with a year you file for family, the law say they can come, but the embassy is the last checkpoint to decide to issue visa or not to issue visa. You can do nothing to them. If we make our country better nursing, we can decide based on immigration law in Liberia. We can decide who entered our country, who stay in our country, and who leave the country today. In addition to that, United States sanction, I think, is the least. You know why it's the least? You get the rest of the countries to go to. You're not coming here. Because America said they're not satisfied with you. What you do to your people in your home country, everything you do for you and your family to live better, it is against the ordinary people. And that's a human rights issue. But they're not taking it. So we can't do anything more than what we can do. You're not coming to our country. You're not using our visa card. You're not using our currency. That's it. Go to Europe. Go to other African countries. Or if it makes you very more, make your country better, but, stop stealing, reduce your salary. In addition to that, United States sanction is targeted now. Okay? When they put it on you, there's a sanction regime. Go there and go challenge it. If United Nations put it on you, there's also a sanction regime. If it has any connection with international court, you can go to court like the former president of Ivory Coast did. He went to court and he won. But this one is United States government. The only person that can remove that sanction, it is the president of the United States through the State Department. Maybe Donald Trump will feel sorry for that. Maybe. We don't know. So go give it a try. But to hire a lawyer to file a suit against the former Secretary of State, the United States government, that's not his own decision he took. He took that decision on behalf of the United States government. So you corrupt, or let me use the word alleged, corrupt criminal like you, you're going to sue the United States government in America? There was sedition there to get some money to people here to lobby for them. It was free money, so they would take it. They would take it. That's not going nowhere, Nelson. Trust me, we don't get family, you can fight for your family. You do everything. They do DNA, they found small point, they say 221G. Additional document required.
Let me come in. You as someone who have been involved with the whole immigration thing, and you even doing an advanced course in all of that. If you had Senator Nukwe sitting right before you now, and you had to advise him, and you were asked to advise him on the way forward, considering the situation now, what do you think is the way forward for the senator? The senator wants to do his people's job. He wants to go to the UN. He wants to go to New York. He wants to go to other parts of the US, engage with partners, and better the lives of the people in Margibi County. But he said he's unable to do that. He said the allegations against him for that whole sanction is not true. He didn't do it. And let me go to some of the reasons why they sanctioned the senator. Let me just highlight just a few of the reasons why the senator was sanctioned. And this is very important. Now, part of the reason for this particular sanction, okay, so significant corruption. That's one of the counts there, significant corruption involving bribes to manipulate legislative processes and public fundings. Now, they're not talking about honor grant corruption. They're not talking about small corruption. Significant. Okay, like our children, they were in kindergarten, they get small A and they get capital A. When I small A, that A, they're small. But when I capital A, they're not big A. I can take over the whole. It depends how you want to draw the A. It will take over the whole.
It might take over the blackboard.
So there's a significant corruption. That's part of the reason why they sanctioned the senator. And they went further to say that significant corruption they're talking about, it goes as far as saying that he was involved in bribes to manipulate legislative processes and public fundings. What's the way forward here, Francis? If the senator was seen before you and you had to advise him.
So, Nelson, if the senator will give me some money, that would be less than what he's giving the lawyer. Yeah, but it's not gonna. My consultation for the ordinary people in the community is free on the phone. But they say now with the senator here, the senator here, it wouldn't be free. I will advise him to do some diplomacy with it. Number one, number two, to engage the sanction regime. Engage the sanction regime. Do not sue the United States in court because there is no legal bearing on it. There is no statute that going to support that allegation. Clear cut. Immigration, when it comes to admissibility, that is a discretionary power given to two major institutions in America: U.S. immigration and customs enforcement. And then Department of State through the U.S. embassies across the globe. They have that power. They got the power to give it to you. They got the power to give it. Even before you enter the airport, they can decline that visa if they found the reason to do so. In addition to that, Senator Nukwe need to ask Edwin Snow. Edwin Snow was advising. Edwin Snow was under sanction. United Nations sanction. He could not even go to Guinea border for over 10 years, asking. As the former Minister of Finance, who had his family in Minnesota, they send them back, okay, because of that charges against him. In addition to that, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, the same thing, D. Maswa Kimaya, he was later sent to U.S. here as a Liberian ambassador to the United Nations. You generally know that story too. After they did that, they granted his wife personal non grata. We don't guarantee your safety to stay here. And you were working because that's what they do. You come to you and then you bring your wife there too. All that stuff. So all the people gone. So Senator Nukwe need to sit down with you people and find out from them how far they're gone. And he couldn't bear to already too. Bear family in Delaware, he got lucky. They did not deport his family. But Simon Tour, they deported his family. D. Maxwell came in, they deported his family. So say that word of fool, because our people say experience is the best teacher. Say that word of people and seek advice from them. If you're
Thank you.
not satisfied, probably hire my services. Let me get smart into, and then I will tell you the way forward. But suing the people here, it's a flow show.
You started the conversation by saying the lawyer eat the money. So you say you want
No. Me are not gonna eat to my man because the lawyer lied to him. I'm not gonna lie to him. I'm not gonna lie to the man. Trust me. I'm a brother from Magibby. I gotta drive through Magibby to go to Lofa, so I will be nice to him.
After the show, I will send you a bill for your advertisement for your services. Thank you very much. We have to go to the phone lines 0555
People are very interested. People are very interested.
101075, and I'll put the WhatsApp up for those of you wanting to call via WhatsApp and make your point tonight. Let's hear you. This is the late night show, the late night politics and spoon, and Nelson Colette. Thanks to the entire team on here tonight. Let's go to the phone lines and take your calls. What are your thoughts on the different conversations tonight? The 500 million case involving former finance minister Samuel Tuer was our first talking point, and then this one with the lawsuit filed by Margibi County Senator James Emmanuel Nukwe. Let's take this caller here. Hello, your name and where you calling from?
I'm Joseph.
Joseph, go ahead quickly.
I just want the clarity. Not 500 million, 6 million. Thank you.
6 million?
6 million. You respond news carry the money. 6 million, not 500
okay,
million.
we're gonna counter check that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's take this person. Hello, your name and where you calling from? Let's hear you.
Hello, Nelson. I'm James, calling from Asia.
Oh, James, it's good to have you.
On the Samuel Tuer issue, I think there are some things we need to look at deep beyond the current case, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's assume if Samuel Tuer has a warrant from the president to withdraw maybe 500 million or whatever the huge amount is to spend that money without any trace. Are we saying the law allows that they will go free? Is this what we are saying? If Samuel Tuer is fortunate to win this case, does that mean that tomorrow any other government can come to power? Maybe, as I know, maybe I will not be re-elected at the end of my tenure. I order the National Security Agency to withdraw 100 million, 200 million, and we leave the office with that money and leave the country budget empty because we have this. I think the law, they need to do something about this. It's a very bad precedent that we are setting. People come to office tomorrow and don't do well for 6 years, and when their time is about to, their tenure is ending, they just withdraw money from the central bank and say, for security purpose, we don't explain anything, we don't need to tell anyone how we spend the money, and they just leave the office with that money, and this country is left ravaged, and there's nothing to show for it. It's a very bad thing that we have in the law. I think the lawmakers need to adjust that part of the law. Seriously.
Thank you very much for your input, James. 0555101075. Hello, your name and where you call from? Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
Thank you very much. This morning.
Okay.
It's so unfortunate to see like events come to sit on the show to defend the country. It's so unfortunate, my bro. How you withdraw money? Yeah, the money is $6 million, 500 million LD, $6 million US. But how will you draw money the same day? Only ever you can see they take all the money. We are no paper trail. Where the money? So what are the security arresting those trade? People come there and see just struggling to defend the kind of case. But man, how you can do this to the kind of country? The other judges say, oh boy, bad president, and the other colors say. So the other government they be passing the money, the security, they tell the money. What happened to bring some guy in this country here? When some guy was prosecuted, what did now it's not because you and security for money in Mali at the time, use that money. Oh, AFL, security. Just somebody come and say on the mid to make more with all over the people for solving this country, children the poor by March to 53 all across the country, across the world. I mean, it's so important to see the jobs developing. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your input. 0555101075. So we'll take just 3 more calls and then we can wrap up on the program tonight. 0555 101075. Hello.
Good morning.
Morning. You want to be audible a bit? Let's hear you.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, go ahead. You're live.
Yeah, for the show. It is Balabazi. I join you from Neil.
Okay. Your take.
Thank you for the show.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to know the money in question. It is 5 million or 500 million.
It's not 5 million. It's 500 million.
That is huge sum of money. The Samuel 12 need to really account for that money, and Councillor Arthur Johnson need to do justice to the Liberian people.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Hello?
Yeah, you've concluded, right? You done, right?
No. I stay on the floor. Okay. Like I was saying, Councillor Arthur Johnson got to do justice to Liberian. That money can be diverted into development, to hospital, road. So we need the money. Okay. The anti-God institution got to make sure Samuel 12 bring that money. So we are calling on the worker-led government to make sure that money come to our national project. Thank you very much for the show.
Thank you very much. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're live. Go ahead.
Yeah, hello. Thank you for giving a Bush or Allen.
Okay.
Well, I'm in state of emergency here during the election. Amen. Brother, somebody taking the country money. No, the men they were talking that they were going to win the election, so everything was going to go under the carpet. So Jeremiah they use their money. The election power will show you winning it. Then councillor is defending that kind of thing there. Well, don't compare with the scenario of Brani Samuga. Brani Samuga said even pay some of the money. Brani Samuga pays some, but they deny the brother. Hey, my brother. What people should do this? Then they councillor defend that kind of thing that is that security matter or the area who on a security matter.
Thank you.
Even the government pays some. Oh my God.
Thank you. Don't cry. Don't cry, my brother. Thank you. Thank you very much for your input. We'll take the last caller here, and then we wrap up on the call-in segment. Hello. Hello. Okay, we'll go back to this line. Hello.
Morning, nurse.
Morning. You are the final caller. Let's hear you.
Nursing, this is Master Question. Nursing, again, I'm sending the SOS call. Today, my daughter has locked herself up from morning up to now. Keep talking to her. She hasn't opened the door, not eating. She said anything happened to her, let it happen to her. Nursing, please, I'm making an appeal, sending an SOS to the panelists, even to anybody who listens to me. Nursing, please, let them kindly help my daughter before she makes an effort to go in. I'm just physically challenged how I'm going through all this. I was taking care of this, my partner before with my child in school. But nursing, I'm worried. She says she doesn't take her 12th grade, test, no wire test, anything for herself. I'm stranded nursing. Kindly talk to people to help me pay my daughter school fees. She's been thrown out of school. I beg you, panelists. I beg anybody that listens to me.
Hello. So please just read your number out in case someone out there wants to reach out to you. They'll do that. Just read your number out.
Hello.
Yeah, read your number out.
Again, my number is 0881 544 827. Please, my people, please help to save my daughter.
Please read the number again. Oh, he left the line. Okay, folks, we have to wrap up. It's been a great show tonight. It's been a great show tonight. So his name is Masakoi. That number he read out is mobile money or sendwave number, whichever way you call it. And in case you can, please reach out to him. He's physically challenged. He's an engineer by profession, but he was involved in an accident and there's iron in his leg. Um, he barely walk, and his daughter is being thrown out of school. So that's the situation. If you can help, please reach out to a brother and help him out. And so Master Quay, I think I took his number last evening. Let me see if I can read it out from here. As we are about to do our closing tonight on the program. Uh, okay, so his number is 0881544827. Yeah. So folks, I think we can do our closing now. And let's start with you, Famole. I don't know. Something about Famula is not okay tonight. Famula is not sitting right. The man is just uncomfortable. He seemed, but anyway, go ahead. I know
Uh,
you're not
uh,
okay with the conversations we have.
look,
Because he's
Nelson,
alarmed too much. That's why. Too much, political alignment. He's
Nelson,
consumed.
look, when we come on a show every night, it's not easy. Sometimes that's why I always like to give hats up to all the guys on the show and even you. This is more or less a sacrifice, after a couple of hours, after working, you still have to come back again. And the thing we're coming back to talk about is just about the betterment of our countries. It's about how Liberia can be good and how people can refine and their mindset and put the country first instead of putting individual interests first. So in all of what we do, we can be stressed, we can still come on the show and still tell Liberian people, hey, look, we disagree to agree, we tell things apart, we argue, but in the end, Liberia is always our common denominator, as the saying go. So thank you. What a great show. And I'm a two-sided person right now. You already know the situation.
You're a baby daddy. What's the name
Man,
of your
don't bring my thing
Everything
outside
he
like
said
that.
made sense, but the only one that doesn't make sense, I don't
Congratulations
think
to
make
our brother
sense.
Fambule. Congratulations to our brother Fambule. Fambule has a baby girl now.
Oh
The
boy.
man called me the other day. The man said, Nelson, my man, I'm a papa, So when you're talking to me, you know that you're talking to somebody's father,
Man, I got two girls. My first daughter
Yeah,
is almost 9 years old. And I
yeah,
got
it's a different feeling being a young baby dad. Yeah, your other daughter is almost 9 years old, but you know,
yeah,
when you come
yeah.
from where
Anyway,
you can play with her cheek, you see that
I'm
la
telling
son
you.
and all that kind of stuff. Then, but thank you, family. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. What a great show. Thank you guys, man. Thank you. It was
Uh,
always a pleasure coming on and speak Liberia, put Liberia first. Thank you, man.
somebody said you put the government first, not like, but anyway, thank you.
Who
You want
put,
to go ahead, Francis?
is there somebody say put who first?
That is a text. Somebody sent me a text. Francis, you want to do your closing?
All right. I want to say thanks to everybody, including you, nursing and my colleagues. Also, our viewers online. I'm sorry I came late tonight because we had a death that occurred here in our local community. And luckily, the person from the Islamic background passed away
But
yesterday.
what's lucky
today.
about that?
We buried them today in Fargo, and we went to visit with the family. Other people came to join us. So the visitation continues tomorrow and Sunday. But anyway, we are good. Sometimes when these things happen, then it reflects my thinking on everything we do every day. So I mean, on the issue of what's going on in Liberia, anti-corruption was key during the campaign of the Unity Party Alliance, headed by our uncle, President Joseph Boakai now. at the time, Kennedy Walker. And I wish he could do it the way he promised under the law. Now with any form of executive power or executive maneuverings and all of that, I would be every single moment happier if we can prosecute corrupt or alleged corrupt officials, people that went into the coffers of our country and took everybody's money and put it in their personal coffers. I would be happy about that. Once we go to court, we are a democratic country and we subscribe to civilized nations principles. So we should do that. I think it's a good thing. Let Samantua go there and fight to exonerate himself and let the government fight to prove their case. On the issue of Senator Nuquit and the incoming additional list of corrupt officials that go on America's sanction list, all I can let them know is you cannot sue America in America for being accused of wrongdoing that undermine or that go contrary to their democratic principles and human rights. So the best thing they can do is to engage the sanction regime to see whether they could be relieved or maybe just make Liberia a better place. So you can stay there, you don't need anybody country to go to. Or you can go to the rest of the countries beside America. Because America is just one country out of so many countries. So again, I want to say thanks to everybody. I want to say Ome Bwaka government for the meantime with this Samantua story. I want to tell them thank you for engaging their own commitment to us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Josh, you want to do your closing and then Mova will take us home.
Yeah, Nelson, I was about to thank you for making me the deputy moderator tonight, but you quickly switched us around, so I'm not going to thank you anymore. But but look, I just want to thank you, Nelson. I've been to Liberia. I know what it said to stay up this late. I know it's in the morning there, and I know you've got a big heart. You love what you do, so thank you very much for sticking with us. And those of us around the world who are, watching, even though some of you guys will call us names, but look, we still love you guys because we are not 100% right. There's no absolute right. That's what I'm trying to say. What I say here is what I believe in, and I might be wrong, and there's no guarantee here that I'm correct all the time. But I will speak my mind. I will not speak anyone else's mind. I will speak my mind. And that's what I come here all the time to do when I have the opportunity to. And my mind will be spoken. I could be wrong. That's it. But I just want to thank you. And because you in the comment section, you also contribute to the show. I saw that people, that's exactly what I was saying from the beginning. That amount, when I say it was impossible in a budget year, I was correct. Because I see people saying that it's $6 million, right? And that is reasonable. I'm not saying that it's good to steal $6 million, but I'm saying that it's possible for $6 million to go away in a budget year. But 500 million is impossible to give to a project or anything in a budget year in our country when our entire country budget is not even $1 billion. It ain't even reached 90 million yet. So Nelson, it was a good show. I think we should do this often to express ourselves and talk about the ills in our society and find ways to mitigate these things, because with our contribution, I think Liberia can get better, because I'm sure if these shows were not here, our official will continue to steal a lot of money without anybody knowing. And the poor will continue to suffer. But as we come on here to expose the ills in our society, people get conscientious and realize that I could be caught. I could be exposed. So they would do it small. They would not do it wild way that they used to do it. So say our Liberian people. So thank you guys. Have a wonderful morning, and I love you all.
Thank you, Josh. Somebody said it's Henrietta Kona Morgan. She said all the suspended officials should, the sanctioned officials should go to Australia. They should go join you.
Go to Georgia.
I get my basement and we can't live there.
Please go ahead, Mobile. Let's hear you.
Yeah,
Finally.
thank you, Nelson. Yeah, guys, thank you, man, and thank you to our viewers, bro, and those who listening on radio. Look, probably I mean I'm agree to that amount, maybe 500 million. That I would judge on that. Yes, I would judge. I think I believe that amount, but I believe that there was corruption. Senator were involved. The former president was involved, and high, let's say, high-ranking state officials were involved as well. But I think the only way the government can bring people to vote is to go all the way and I'm gonna commend them what they're doing right now. Let it make sure. And the other caller who said I respect him, he said, so that's why every government does. Like they just kind of power when they rather lead, they say we post the money to security apparatus and then they take it out, they dish it, they more themselves. If that's how we will build Liberia, then I think Liberia will not go nowhere. Because people will keep doing the same thing over and over. Look, that's me. Let me use it in my last 30 seconds to say this. You know what I love about Burkina Faso? Today, look, Nelson, the people changed everything. And you know what the president doing now? The president building houses for every citizen. He said he won't see one citizen in the street without shelter. The money there, look, if we get president like that, and I've seen people say, oh, let we keep doing the way we're doing, we agree. But sometimes it is good for a president to stand to things that this will not happen, this will not go into the budget. I agree on this. I got to stand on there. I got to put money there. I got to put money for my people. I got to put money to healthcare. I got to pay horses and a real mini estate for homeless people. I got to provide for my people. I think the president needs to stand on some of these things. You just said that they watch people stealing and stealing and stealing and stealing, and the country keep going down. And we'll come here, we'll keep talking, we'll keep frustrated. And look, now there's no aid coming to Liberia. Why? What think the government can do now to help the masses? I think it is time for the government to stand on 10 toes to work. And the lawmakers, let it cut some of that benefit. Let it give some of the money back to the citizen, to healthcare, to schools, payrolls, and other places, man. Let us do this together. We shouldn't come here every day we talk on corruption. We come here tomorrow, we talk on corruption. We come here the other day, we talk on corruption. And it keep partying up. Don't say we want to develop Liberia. We don't want to say bad things about Liberia all the time. But for us, for some of us, the way we see it, how we're talking, we're not coming here to sugarcoat anything. If somebody steal, we say it. If somebody do right, we say it. So Nelson, that's it, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, my brother, for your effort and sacrifices. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you. Nelson, you there? Yeah, Nelson, go on.
You're talking to a girlfriend.
No, he let the man freeze. But yeah, that's it, man. Yeah, I think the man get love, but he don't make it.
He don't make it.
Yeah, he get love.
Nelson is really an interesting test.
Yeah, me can call in and see.
How will he get stuck on his phone?
Let me battle live. Nelson, when I hear you, my man, I already
know. Guys, there's a little bit of technical issues here, but I want to say thanks to everyone. Yeah, it's been a great show. We look forward to being here tomorrow. Until then, have a good night, everyone. We appreciate you. Freeman, our dear sister, thank you for being here. Henrietta, Kona Morgan, Marcia Snelling, Thomas Quena, Ava Cooper, everybody, we appreciate you for joining us. We look forward to being here tomorrow. Hopefully, we will do that segment where we take some of our folks, some of the audience. We put the
randomly,
link
right?
Yeah, randomly for some of our people to join us. Until then, have a good night, everyone, and we look forward to being here tomorrow.
I think we did not have much confrontation tonight.